everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another crafty decor adventure. Olivia here at Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video I am over the moon excited to share with you 15 DIY Dollar Tree Christmas decor crafts. So I love to share with you guys how you can make your home's boutique gorgeous on a budget. I truly believe y'all don't have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. Now right now on my YouTube channel, we're in the middle of my I Love Christmas series. So if you guys missed any of those videos, click on the I Love Christmas series playlist. I'm going to link it for you in the description box below. I love to do a ton of seasonal home decor, so if you love that, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's totally free. I would also love to invite you over to my Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook page. I have a free little group page you guys can join and post photos of your home decor and DIY projects. So without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns. Get out your glitter and paint, and let's get crafty.
For the first Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to make a super adorable Dollar Tree Christmas centerpiece. Okay, so we're going to start out with this Dollar Tree cute little charger, and I'm going to hot glue a piece of foam to the center of my charger. And then I'm going to take this little Dollar Tree mini tree. These are just the table topper trees. They should be out now in your store, and you want to kind of fluff it out just a little bit and then poke it into the styrofoam. And here's how that should look after you get that first one on. Don't mind my awkward mom dancing. I'm then going to pop another one into the other side, and you don't want to put them end to end, otherwise they won't go all the way in. Now here's a fun little way to make a bow. You can measure the ribbon from your hand to your elbow, and that's going to make a pretty good sized little fluffy bow. And you want to take the ribbon and loop it over on itself, and I like to do this about 4 times if I'm using 3 ribbons. If you're going to make just one ribbon that's all the same color, you probably want to loop it over on itself to where you have at least 4 loops. Okay, so I'm going to set that ribbon down, and then again I'm going to kind of measure it, and you might want to make the second one a little bit smaller than that first one, and then just take the ribbon and loop it over on itself. You guys, this is such an easy bow to do. I promise you, you guys can totally do this. And then you're going to set that on top of your second ribbon. These are all Dollar Tree ribbons. Now they're not the most amazing ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and be honest, but hey, they'll work for this, and it's pretty inexpensive. So again, I'm using a smaller little ribbon here, and this is just the Joy to the World Christmas one. A couple of these are not actually wired. I really love wired ribbon, but we're going to roll with it. Find your center on this bow, and then take your scissors and cut tiny little notches on either side. Listen, tiny notches. Do not make those notches too big or your bow will fall apart. Now lately I've been loving to zip tie the center of my bow. You can get a really nice good grip with that zip tie. You can also use floral wire or the pipe cleaners. The next thing you want to do is take those loops and pull them out really, really well. And you're just going to twist the little ribbon strands there and take a little stem from, I like just to take like a floral stem and poke that little bow on there. The next thing I want to do is add in some of this Dollar Tree greenery. You guys, I am loving this. It looks so natural and beautiful. I'm just going to pop that into either side of my little Christmas tree spot here. And I think it looks already really cute, but then I decided to add in some berries to kind of pull those red and kind of maroon ribbons in. I guess I'm kind of mixing my reds, but hey, we'll do a little mixy on this one. I feel like at Christmas time, we can really get festive and just have so much fun with all of our colors. The next thing I want to do is hot glue a popsicle stick to the back of this little Dollar Tree hang tag. This was in the ornament section, and I used the holiday cute little snowman one. And then I decided to add one more mini Christmas tree. So that's going to be 3 total, and 3 of your pecks, and then berries, and then this is just some little Dollar Tree ornaments popped into there, and then voila, you guys have a super fabulous little centerpiece on a total budget. As you guys can see, to kind of finish it off in the back, I'm just taking a little bit of extra ribbon and kind of making some loop-de-loops, and then here is how that turned out. Oh my goodness, Frosty the Snowman is going to be perfect on my entryway table or as a centerpiece in my dining room. I think he's so cute, fun, and cozy, and hey, I think this is on a total budget, you guys. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super adorable little rustic Dollar Tree vase. And so what I'm going to do is take one of these glass Dollar Tree vases, and I'm using some hot glue. I'm just going to hot glue this little nautical rope to the base of my Dollar Tree vase here. This is so easy and fun to make. The rope vases and whatnot were such the rage recently this year on Pottery Barn website, so I thought we could recreate this. Now listen, you guys could stop about midway up, pop a cute little candle in here and make it really cozy, or you could go all the way like I'm gonna do and put some florals in it. Really, you guys, seriously, the sky is totally the limit on this, but you're just gonna hot glue it end to end. I think the trickiest part about using the Dollar Tree nautical rope is it kind of frays on the end, and so anyway, just a little tip there, but keep going with it. And Dollar Tree is also putting out kind of some white colored nautical rope that's really nice to use as well. So anyway, we're just going to keep adding in this nautical rope and making it so fun and fabulous. If you guys love to decorate for a Dollar Tree Rustic Christmas or just a Rustic Christmas, I didn't really mean to say Dollar Tree, but hey, we can have a Dollar Tree Rustic Christmas. These are a great idea. You guys can do so many things with them, and again, they're on such a budget compared to those Pottery Barn prices. So once you get to the top of your vase, you can kind of finish it off and pull that last piece in, and then this is how that's going to look. The next thing I wanted to do was add some cute little greenery pieces here. So I'm adding in greenery and then some cute little red berries. And you guys, oh my goodness, you could do so many fun things with this, but I'm really loving this Dollar Tree greenery that they're setting out for the holidays, as well as these pretty red berries. And really, that's a great little fun, easy DIY you guys can do. Really for a total budget. So it's just a couple dollars for the vase and a couple dollars for your little sprigs. And then especially if you're decorating with kind of that rustic flair, you guys could even add in some glam florals to it. Again, fun and fabulous on a budget. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to take one of these larger vases. Now, the larger vase actually came from Walmart. I believe it was like $4.99, and then a smaller little Dollar Tree vase, and then some of their little glitter vase fillers. I shared with you guys kind of how to do this during the Easter time, except for we used the little peeps and the jelly beans, and that was super fun. And I realized I need to pop something down inside this. I think I did the same thing last time, I forgot. So I popped in just some little filling in the center of that vase, so all the vase filler doesn't flop down into there. A good idea would be to prep your work first and find some tape. But anyway, we're just going to roll with it. You guys know I just kind of love to craft by the seat of my pants. Craft by the seat of my pants. Here's how that looks so far. Now I'm going to add in some of this cute little vase filler. Oh my goodness, how adorable is this with the stars and then the little mini stocking boots, and oh my goodness, just so many fun ideas here that you guys could do. Just trying to think of more Christmas things. Oh, you guys could fill this also with like little snowballs if you were doing a winter white theme, and then just use the glam glitter vase filler. So there's actually two different styles I'm using on this one, the red and gold, and then also just the silver and gold, and then some of the chunkier vase filler. So again, really the sky is the limit on this one. So how are you guys decorating for Christmas? I would really love to know. Hey, don't forget also to drop a comment down below so you can enter my Hobby Lobby gift card. I'm going to give it away October 31st. So here's how it looks so far. I had a little bit more room for a tiny bit more vase filler, although it did get pretty full here. I think that this would be a really fun craft to do with kids because there's no hot glue involved, and I think they would really have fun just seeing all the pretty shapes and colors on the outside of it. Another idea you guys could do too, I just thought about this while I was watching the playback on this video, is you guys could add some pretty lights to that. How fun would that be? So now I'm just adding in a bunch of doodly dads, just Ting from Dollar Tree and the little berries. These are the sparklier ones. I'm trying to use more of the sparkly ones because actually I've been using a lot of them, so I may have to go back for more florals, but I thought this would be pretty because there's so many sparkly little balls down inside the vase filler. So anyway, you guys, just really get creative with it. There's so many ideas for this. You could do all poinsettias. I'll probably play around even with mine. I'm not sure that I was like super over the top happy with the amount that I put in here and how kind of crazy I let it go. I also decided to add in some poinsettias as if everything in here was not enough. But I wanted to pull in some of that red. I think a red berry would be nice as well. I used them in my last projects, but so cute. And I hope this is giving you guys some ideas and your little wheels are turning. Oh, an idea too I just thought about. So if you use the Dollar Tree smaller vase, you could always just put a toilet paper roll down inside of that. And maybe I'll share that with you guys on another video. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super adorable, cute little pillow out of these Dollar Tree placemats. Okay, so from the Dollar Tree, I grabbed some placemats and I'm just going to take 2 of them, and you want to put them facing the cute side in, and then you're going to take your hot glue gun, or you guys could totally sew these if you have a sewing machine. I do not, and I do not sew. I'm good with these little glue gun pillows. Anyway, I'm just going to hot glue them along the edges, and as you guys can see, I'm really kind of smoothing them down, so that really helps to get it to stick really nice and well, to get it nice and smooth down. And you want to do 2 long ends on your pillows and then 1 short end, and then leave one of the shorter ends open, and that way you guys can just flip it inside out and then stuff it with some stuffing and just have that one end to glue together. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, the other little tip I have for you guys is to take your finger and kind of poke into the end of the pillow, and that way you guys have, you know, just a nice spot here where you can kind of fluffy up your pillow and you don't have those little like turned in edges. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and take some of this fluffing and stuff it up. Stuff it up a thing. I'm not really for sure if it is, but I'm going to push that in here, and then I'm just going to close it up. Now here's an easy little thing to do when you're closing it. You kind of tuck it in and pinch it as you go. So tuck and pinch. And I love these placemats because they're so easy to use. Some of the things I hot glue together are not easy when I'm doing these pillows, and this one was easy. I even got the checks lined up. I've been given all kinds of heck when I don't get my checks lined up, which, hey, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I am crafting like upside down and backwards. So you guys can see this from my end, but a lot of times I can't see what I'm doing from your end unless I look up in my tiny little camera viewfinder. So there's that going on. So always give me grace, and hey, give yourself some grace because none of us are perfect and we're all doing our best. Now I decided to add some cute little balls or pom-poms to the end of this. I thought that would just make it so cozy and cute and a little bit more custom, like something you might see you know, at the Target Dollar Spot or TJ Maxx or whatever. This isn't a super huge pillow, but I think it's fun to have these cute little pillows that you can pop into baskets and, you know, put a little blanket on. I like to check the thrift store for blankets that I can find, you know, that I can use in baskets, and even some outside if they're only a couple bucks. I think that's fun. So anyway, I hope this is giving you guys some ideas. It'd also be fun to put like a little snowflake in the front of this, or, you know, like maybe some little deer antler heads or something like that. These are also really, really great to put underneath your Christmas tree as a filler. So just more ideas for how you guys can make your holidays special on a budget. For this next DIY, I just want to share with you guys how you can take one of these cute little Dollar Tree candlesticks and one of the mailboxes and create a fun little kind of Santa mailbox. You guys can also use so many different things. You could use the little Dollar Tree crates or whatnot, but I just thought this would be a fun way to elevate this mailbox and make it feel more I guess mailboxy. So the next thing I wanted to do was add some ribbon around the edge of my little gingerbread mailbox. I think these are fun for little ones to put notes in, or you can leave notes for your loved ones. I think that's a super fun idea for the Dollar Tree mailboxes. And I'm just using some sparkly ribbon and trimming it in and around the little mailbox. And then I also added some bows. These little Dollar Tree pre-made bows. I highly suggest you guys grab these if you're doing a lot of crafting, because it's really going to make your holidays just really nice and special and cute and fun. And then the next thing I'm going to do is pop a little peppermint onto the front of this. And then I mean, you guys can really use so many different things. I need to get some of those little gingerbread stickers that I had from last year. And hey, if you guys are crafting right now and it's still not Halloween, you guys can see I kind of have my Halloween nails. Drop a comment down below. Who's doing Halloween crafts? Who's doing gingerbread crafts? That's going to be the secret question for this video. And as always, I ask that you guys comment down below and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video. Which one are you going to be recreating and what are you guys up to? I love hearing from you. Drop those kind comments down below. Remember, we can bless one another with prayers, kind comments, and joy, and just love on one another, because hey, this little world is tough enough as it is. So I love y'all. I'm so thankful to have you guys here. Truly you're such a blessing to me. So keep up the good work crafting and decorating. And the last thing I have to share with you guys is look who I found in here with some toilet paper that he knew he was not supposed to have. Benji Bear gives you a wink, but he might have been a bad puppy dog while Mom was crafting. Well, I do love him, but look at that little stinker. The first Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super adorable plunger Christmas tree. Okay, so from the Dollar Tree, grab one of their plungers, and then you're going to take just some burlap or any color of ribbon to wrap the handle of your plunger in. So you're going to hot glue it at the top and give it a little wrapty wrap, and then give it another little squirt of hot glue, and just continue to wrap that handle with some type of ribbon or fabric, or I'm using this burlap. So then once you have that done, you can go ahead and hot glue the base of it. And actually, if you're able to get that Dollar Tree sticker off, you could probably maybe just leave the wooden part as is, but I do like to go ahead and cover mine just kind of for decor purposes. You're going to flip your plunger inside out and then plunge it down into one of those Dollar Tree buckets. And then I have just this kind of like junky box of stuff left over from this summer. It's kind of like rocks and seashells mixed together. I'm going to pop this into the base of my plunger. Don't laugh at me, you guys, but I do like to repurpose and reuse. The next thing I'm going to do is grab a couple of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees. These are just the little mini trees, and I'm using two of them, and I'm hot gluing them and kind of holding them up to the top base part of this plunger. It is easy to lay this down and then zip tie it all together, but for video purpose, so you guys can see what I'm doing, I am standing up with this. I added one more inside of that zip tie, and then I'm just going to hot glue and zip tie them onto the top part of the plunger. They're a little bit weebly wobbly as is, so we're going to really just safety these up by adding in a couple more zip ties. I'm a safety girl, and I want to make sure that nothing flops off. I ended up using 3 of the zip ties, and I think last year I just hot glued them, and let me tell you, one of you guys suggested that I use the zip ties, and it worked so much better. The next thing you want to do is a fluffy duffy out your Christmas tree, and there's my awkward mom dancing. I know you guys love it when I do that. So just take and really fluffy out the Christmas tree, and you can even kind of work some of the branches into the other branches as you go. Now, once I really fluffied out my branches, I did want to cover up the part where I had zip tied, so I did just go ahead and wrap some more of those branches with some of this burlap. Now, hindsight 2020, I could have just wrapped this once I had gotten to this point. Okay, so you guys don't have to wrap it and then rewrap it. But hey, you guys, I craft as I go and I share my ideas with you, so just roll with it and learn from me. The next thing I did was go ahead and take some of this greenery. I popped it off of the stems, and then you can see that I'm just hot gluing it and then popping it into a little Christmas tree. Now, this is totally extra. You guys don't really have to do this part, but I do think it makes it look kind of special. And this is just some of that Dollar Tree greenery. I love this like sparkly kind of furnished greenery that they have out for the holidays. I think it's really nice and it looks really high end. So I did use 2 bundles of the greenery, and then 3 trees total. But these are great for centerpieces, you guys. The plunger tree centerpiece is kind of my claim to fame, I guess, for every holiday. I like to do a fall one and a Christmas one. I think I even did an Easter one last year. Now I'm using some of these Dollar Tree just little ornaments, and I'm going to hot glue them into the tree just to give it some zhuzh up. And kind of like at this point in time, you guys could totally stop. But you guys know me, I kind of like to go over the top and pretty much use everything that's in my crafting arsenal. That's personally how I love to do it. Now take some ribbon and fold it over on itself and make a cute little bow if you so choose. Again, you could stop wherever you want at any point, depending on the supplies you have on hand and the budget that you want to do for it. But I'm just going to pop this cute little bow. Again, this is some Dollar Tree ribbon, and this was from the fall season. It is wired, so that does help your ribbon stand up really nice. Now fluffy duffy out your ribbon and give it a little zhuzh up. That will help make it really cute. You can add some tails to the side and kind of float them down the side of this. I think this is something that's really cute, and you would see, you know, in a high-end boutique, and you guys can really customize this to suit whatever decor you love. So if you're doing glam, you could do some white trees with some glam gold ribbon. You guys can change up this ribbon, honestly, however you love it. And again, stop or keep going, keep adding goodies, and just make it look really fabulous. And I do love to zhuzh some of that ribbon. This is more Dollar Tree ribbon. Here's one of those little cute Dollar Tree gnomes. I popped him into the top, and then to cover up my craziness in the bottom that is waiting, my centerpiece down here, I'm adding in some Dollar Tree reindeer moss, and then the leftover bits and bobs of ribbon that I do have, I'm just going to kind of pop them into the base. And excuse my workstation, but hey, it gets kind of crazy in my Christmas crafting studio this time of year. So I'm going to zhuzh up some more ribbon here. So just add a dibble dabble of hot glue, and then you can just kind of zhuzh your ribbon to the side, add more ribbon. And again, that was just pretty much everything that I had left in my crafting arsenal. And then I think I added like a little bauble to the base of it, and even a couple of little stems of some of the leftover greenery and red berries that I popped into there. But again, you guys really customize this. I think it came out so fabulous, and these are so fun to use next to your mantle, in a centerpiece, wherever you kind of need that little extra bit of goodness. These would be great to give to a neighbor. So just have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm so excited to share with you guys how to make a Dollar Tree gnome. Okay, so you're going to take a cone. These are the cones from Dollar Tree, and then some yarn. It's best to use some of that chunky, fluffy yarn, but I didn't really have that, and I was using yarn from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is I just took the yarn and looped it over on itself a couple of times, bundled it together, and then hot glued it to the base of my cone. And I left about an inch or so at the top of my cone. You don't have to go all the way up, because we're going to use a sock for our little gnome hat. So again, what I'm doing with this yarn is I'm taking it and just looping it over on itself until I get a nice little bundle in my hand. The other thing you guys can use for this part of the project is, if you don't have the yarn, you could use one of those Dollar Tree mop heads. But just basically anything that you can use to give your gnome a beard. You could even use some of that like little white fluffy fur that you can get at the craft store. But again, we're using Dollar Tree supplies, so here we go. So you're going to continue to make little yarn bundles and glue them around. Now try not to use tons and tons of hot glue on that styrofoam. It will melt, so you just want to use a dibble dabble and then keep moving around it and make your beard as full as you want it. But again, the reason I'm bundling my yarn is that way I'm only hot gluing one little spot instead of tons and tons and tons of pieces of yarn. And if you guys are able to find the chunky yarn, which it's super easy to find at your local craft store, use that. But again, I am really trying to dig into my craft stash. You guys, my craft closet is overflowing with goodies, and it's so much easier for me to go into the craft store and buy more supplies. It's a lot harder to force myself to use what I have. Comment down below if you guys are there with me and you're trying to use what you have as well. Now, the next thing you want to do is take one of those little Dollar Tree socks, and I'm just taking the little lip of the sock and I kind of just pulled it under and then popped it onto my little gnome. And then you can bundle the top part of the sock right here. And I'm using a twist tie, but I know you could also use like a little mini hairband. That would work as well. And then kind of just bend your little top part of your sock over. You can use a little wooden bead or a little fluffy white ball to create a gnome nose. And these are just some beads that I found on Amazon. They come in a giant pack for like 12 bucks. Super great deal if you love to craft with beads. And then I'm going to take the end of this sock and just hot glue the ends together and then add a little pom-pom to kind of just zhuzh my gnome up. This is probably one of the absolute easiest gnomes I have ever done. So if you guys are inspired and you want to sit down with your kiddos or your grandkids, I think this is a super fun project. Just be careful when you're helping them with the glue or when you're gluing as well, because I did get quite a bit of glue on my nails. But I thought this was a fun idea if you guys are totally crushing on those superstar gnomes this season, which they're out and about. If you love them, I fell in love with them a couple of years ago and now I honestly can't stop. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to make a Dollar Tree Christmas tree centerpiece. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the Dollar Tree boxes and then another box and stack it on top of the first box. This is not necessary, but I thought it would just give it a little bit of height and dimension. And I really love the Noel box with the candy cane around it. I thought that would make our little base centerpiece so cute. Now I hot glued a piece of styrofoam into the center of my second box, and now I'm going to take one of those little Dollar Tree white tabletopper Christmas trees and I fluffy duffied it out and I just pushed it into the center of my foam, and then I'm going to take another one of these and fluffy duffy it out as well and then push it in right next to that first one. And then what you'll want to do is kind of take the tops of your trees and just kind of twist tie them together and kind of zhuzh them about just a little bit, but this is going to be pretty covered so don't worry too much about that. The next thing I'm doing is I'm going to use 2 rolls of Dollar Tree mesh, and I'm going to take the mesh, I'm going to cut it in about 10 to 12 inch pieces, and as you guys can see, I'm just taking those pieces, bundle 3 of them together, take your tree branches and just cross the tree branches over on themselves, and boom, you guys have a fun little tabletopper tree centerpiece. These are so great for offices or small spaces or your kiddos' room. Again, just take 3 of those little pieces of mesh, bundle them together and pop them into the tree. Now, the mesh part honestly is totally extra, but it's because I love to go extra and I love things to be fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. If you can't find mesh at the Dollar Tree, do not fear. You guys can go to Hobby Lobby, grab some mesh, whatever works. Okay, so we're going to keep going with the mesh, pop it into that tree, make it fabulous, fluff it around, do your deal, so be it. Then I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree tubing, and I have been using a lot more of the tubing than usual, but you just take the tubing and loop it over on itself till you make a fun little bow. It's going to look a little crazy. I honestly thought this could be a Grinch tree if you wanted to make it into a Grinch tree, just because of the colors. I don't usually use a lot of the green, but hey, we're going to go for it and do something a little different this year. Now, the next thing I want to do is take some of that Dollar Tree, just regular craft ribbon. It is wired. You loop it over on itself about 4 times, pinch it in the center. You can take some scissors and cut a tiny little bitty notch right there in the center, and that is going to help you fluff out your bow. Now you cut a notch in each side, but don't cut through your ribbon and don't cut it too big of a notch. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Otherwise your ribbon's going to fall apart. So anyway, you're going to put a little pipe cleaner in the center of that and fasten it to the top of it. And then don't forget to really fluff it out and make it look oh so fabulous. And again, this is looking a little crazy, but we're going to make it all come together. I promise you guys. Really fluffing out your tree is kind of the key to all of this. The next thing I did was I took some little poinsettias, and I had also added in a little bit more green tubing to the top as well. As you can see, I want the green base to kind of match the top and then pull it in with the reds and the poinsettias. And then I'm taking some of these little mini poinsettias and I'm going to hot glue them in and around the tree. And boom, we have a fabulous little poinsettia tree, totally on a budget. I hope you guys are inspired to make a little mini tabletopper tree for your own. Again, great centerpieces. I made one of these for my Aunt Janice for her little home last year. There's so many fun ideas that you guys can do with these, and I just hope you guys are inspired and working with this. And again, budget friendly and so fun and fabulous, and a great thing to do with kids, because really there wasn't a whole lot of hot gluing on this one as well. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super awesome Dollar Tree jumbo ornament. You're going to take a scarf and cut it to size, and then take another scarf and just wrap it around that kid's bouncy ball or kid's like little ball. Then you take a rubber band at the top of your scarf and just tie it off. Now I didn't have two scarves that match, so I used similar but different patterns, and then I'm just going to trim off the very top here. And then it's super easy to kind of just pull the little edges under. So just take these little edges right here, pull them under, and you can add a tiny dab of hot glue, not too much. You don't want your ball to pop, but this is going to give you an amazing jumbo ornament, you guys. These are so fun and fabulous to make, especially if you decorate with a really large tree. And the other one I've shared with you guys is how do you do a jumbo ornament with a scarf, or not a scarf, but a little hat. You guys can do a hat as well. I wanted to give you guys a different option. Now, I decided to take some of this red ribbon and wrap it around to kind of give it like a little bit of a kissing ball effect. So I'm just taking some of this Dollar Tree sparkly red ribbon, wrapping it around the edge, and then tying it off at the top. And I did remove my little hair tie. You guys can see to the side over there. And so I just took it and I ponied it all back together. And then this is where it gets really fun, where you guys can get super creative with it by adding toppers to the top. So I love to add ribbons and bows and greenery. This is some of that Dollar Tree mesh tubing. So it's $1 for this big long thing of mesh tubing. You take the tubing and you just loop it over on itself. So you guys can see it's kind of sloppy. It's not super perfect, but you just loop it over on itself, 6, 8, 10 times until you get a nice full bundle in your hand. Trim that off, and then you can tie it off with a pipe cleaner, another piece of tubing, a piece of ribbon, whatever floats your boat. I think I use pipe cleaners here. But see, that's going to give you like a nice big zhuzhy bow. I also shared with you guys on my last one how to make like a more pretty bow, with just ribbon. You can just add ribbon loops to the top, just really get creative with it. And so I'm just going to do the mesh tubing all the way around. So I'm going to do several different layers and bundles of that. And I also cut some greenery to put some greenery in, because I really kind of want this one to feel a little bit like a kissing ball. Like maybe I could hang it from my dining room chandelier. I do love to have a good kissing ball, either hanging from a doorway or, a chandelier. Who doesn't want a Christmas kiss? Speaking of Christmas kisses, oh my goodness, apparently Hallmark Christmas movies are coming out very soon. So for the secret question for this video, and I love to add a secret question for every single video to give you guys a chance to enter my $100 Hobby Lobby giveaway. What is your favorite Hallmark Christmas movie? And if you don't love the Hallmark Christmas movies, what is your favorite Christmas movie? So you're going to drop a comment down below, and that's going to give you a chance to enter that $100 Hobby Lobby giveaway. I am going to give it away October 31st. So just think about that. And I think that's on Halloween. Kind of crazy to do a Christmas or a Hobby Lobby gift card giveaway on Halloween, but hey, we're going to go for it anyway. Now continue to add more baubles to the top and really get fun with it, creative. And then I did add a cute little bow to the top, and then a peppermint trimmer after that. So I thought this came out really cute and really fancy and really fun. And I'm going to see how long this is going to stay inflated. I know that was a bit of a concern for some people, like because the balls may deflate a little bit. We'll see how it goes, but not the end of the world. It's just a couple bucks. And look at how cute that looks. I think it's going to be gorgeous in one of my large trees. I can't wait to decorate some Christmas trees for Christmas. I hope y'all are loving it and are totally inspired. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to fancy schmancy up this cute little mirror. So this is just one of those little Dollar Tree mini mirrors. And what I'm going to do is just add some of those little, they're Dollar Tree gems, and they're like the acrylic gems to kind of give it some fancy feet. So this is just a fun idea for how you guys can really doll up a mirror. I go to Bath and Body Works and I see these dolled up mirrors that you can set candles on. I thought, you know what, we're going to do something that's really cheap and budget friendly. So I'm using some of those little Dollar Tree glitter vase fillers, and I'm just going to hot glue them in and around the edge of my mirror. And I will tell you, as I'm doing this, I do wipe like the stringy parts of the glue off. That way it doesn't make a super huge mess and it's hard to get off at the end part. Now to the back of my mirror, I used some of that Dollar Tree vase filler that had the little Santa boots. I thought that would be a fun little addition to this, you know, just kind of getting creative with it and going for it. So you guys have fun with these. There's so many fun little things you can do with all the little Dollar Tree bits and bobs. The vase fillers are great to do. You can use them as vase fillers, or you can just have fun with them like I'm doing. And then you can add a cute little candle to the center. But I really think there's so many ways to get festive for the holidays without spending $30 on a mirror or however much it costs to get some of those fancy mirrors. Just some ideas for you guys on how to be super fun, fabulous on a total budget. And then I had this cute little Dollar Tree candle. Check these out. How adorable is that? Now, I think that's so cute. A great little centerpiece, or just an addition maybe to a bathroom or a small space, a little side table that you guys might want to place out as well. Share with you how to make a super adorable little Dollar Tree Christmas sign. Okay, so I'm taking 2 of these larger Dollar Tree signs, and they're actually left over from the 4th of July. I always buy a couple of these extra ones that are the longer size, and I'm just hot gluing 3 popsicle sticks to the back to make it one large sign. I'm gonna flip it over, and you'll kind of notice it was a little bit bowed. No worries there. Now I'm gonna take this Family is Everything Dollar Tree placemat, and I'm going to hot glue it in and around the edge of the sign. And you guys can see on either end of the sign, there's still kind of a little bit of that Dollar Tree, you know, board to it. No worries there. We're going to cover that as well. Now, the next thing I want to add on to the center of this is the gnome for the holidays sign, but really any little Dollar Tree sign is going to be absolutely perfect. You guys can use anything that you have on hand. And then the next thing I wanted to do was kind of cover up those little, holes from the sign hanger at the top here. So I'm just taking some of these cute little peppermints. These are from Hobby Lobby. You just trim them off the little peppermint holder thing, and then you guys have some individual peppermints. The next thing I'm using is some of this cute little Dollar Tree ribbon, and I'm going to hot glue it on the edges here, and then just gently fold it over, and then hot glue it on the other side as well. So the other side of this isn't like the most awesome. If you guys are going to be leaning this up against a mirror, maybe you'd want to paint this side, but nobody is going to be looking behind my crafts. And if they are, then good luck. The next thing I want to do is take and make a cute little bow up here at the top. So I'm just going to kind of ruche it up and make 2 little ears here with some hot glue. Just press that down, and then I'm going to make some little tails. So I'm just adding some ribbon, and I'm going to kind of trim it off and then ruche it kind of just in along the top part of my sign. I'm going to add some more tails on the other side as well to kind of make it match. And then we have this fabulous little sign on a total budget, and we repurposed some extra Dollar Tree signs that I overbought and I wasn't using. Hey, and if you guys have like a little board laying around, that would be great too. Here's how it comes out. I think it's super, super fun, fabulous, totally budget friendly, and it made a fairly large sign, which I was kind of impressed with. So just keep an eye out. Dollar Tree has a ton of placemats. They have a ton of ribbon, and they have a ton of signs. If you guys have an old board or just any kind of longer piece of wood laying around, this would be the perfect idea for that. So fun and fabulous on a total little budget here. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a really cute little Dollar Tree gingerbread. So Dollar Tree sells these wooden gingerbreads, and they're so fun and easy to paint, and really you guys can pretty much create anything with them. This is also a great kids project piece. All you need is the little wooden cutout piece, some glue, some paint, and some creativity. So I'm going to take and I'm going to use just some brown paint to kind of paint it all the color of gingerbread. This is just some paint I have on hand. You guys can grab some apple barrel craft paint from Walmart. They're like 50 cents for one of those little tubes. So that would work great as well. Just go ahead and paint it whatever color you want. Hey, you could have any color of gingerbread that you want. I did want to make it kind of traditional though and ginger snappy. So once I had that done, then I'm going to take just some white paint and trim out the little raised wood parts on his arms and legs with some white paint. Again, you guys could really have fun with this and get totally creative. I'm just kind of sharing with you guys my idea. The next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of zhuzh up his little buttons. I'm going to tell you I could not get the original button off. So I just hot glued these cute little peppermint pieces on top of that. And again, the peppermint pieces are an ornament that you can get at Hobby Lobby. I love them for crafting because then you can kind of take them apart and you have so much more use out of them. And you guys can look for little peppermints anywhere, but these have just been my go-to forever. The next thing I want to do is take some of this little peppermint ribbon, and this is also from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to make a cute little bow for my little gingerbread guy here. I'm going to tie it off with a pipe cleaner here, and then again, you guys can really customize this, add whatever baubles and bows that you guys have on hand. This is just what I have on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. And then once I have my bow ready, I'm going to hot glue it into the center of my little gingerbread's bow tie. And also think you guys could make these girls or boys or whatever suits your fancy. I even thought it would be fun. You could make it into a little girl by adding some hair, or this could be a little girl that doesn't have a whole ton of hair. That was kind of my little girl when she was a baby. The next thing I wanted to do was go ahead and paint some eyes on. Now this is totally optional. This is really cute as is, but if you want to paint some eyes on, you want to draw a circle and then you want to kind of outline the eyes with some white paint. You guys can see I have this little gingerbread ornament off to the side over here. Sorry for the mess on my table, but I'm kind of using that as a guide. So I also painted some black on the interior part of the eyes, and then I'm just kind of outlining that entire thing. The other thing you guys can do is go on Pinterest and just Google or go on Pinterest and search for cartoon eyes, and it's going to give you so many different expressions that you guys can make with your paint and whatnot. And then I'm just taking my little paintbrush and kind of zhuzhing up the hair, going along the top and the sides, and just kind of making it look like it's icing. And I just did that with my paintbrush. So there you guys have that, a super adorable little gingerbread. Don't judge my eyes too hard. I always feel like they kind of look goofy, but I think these came out pretty cute. So just a little circle that's black on one side, white on the other. You can outline it a little bit of white and black, add a smile and some cute little hair. Have fun with it and get creative and go for it. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to show you guys how to make a super adorable little Dollar Tree gnome. So this is one of the Dollar Tree wood cutouts, and I'm just going to take this Sharpie and draw some stripes. So I started in the center and just drew stripes down one side and then down the other. I'm going to make this a black and white check gnome with his little hat, kind of in the Mackenzie Child style, which I absolutely love, but you guys make whatever pattern and colors that you love. So I'm going in with some white paint, and I actually contemplated on doing red and white check, but went ahead and went in with the black and white check because I already had the black paint out, so I didn't want it to go to use. So you just do every other one with your paintbrush, and then now you guys can see I'm going in with my black paint and I'm just painting the little squares. And I have been doing these black and white check squares forever, so the longer you do them, the easier they get. And give yourself some grace. You can always paint over any whoopsies with some outlining of gold or just with some more paint. So also keep in mind when you're painting things, this is a $1 wooden cutout. So worst case scenario and you totally botch it up, it was $1 plus some paint and some time, and maybe you learned something. I always get nervous doing these wooden cutouts. Like, I'm never quite for sure what to do. So I'm going to share my ideas with you guys, and I would love to hear what your ideas are in the comment section. So drop a comment down below and let me know, how would you paint your gingerbread face or your gnome? I would love to hear from you guys. And that's going to be the secret question in this video. I'm giving away a $100 Hobby Lobby gift card giveaway. So you guys drop that comment down below. How do you love to paint your wooden cutouts? Or what is your favorite pattern to paint if you do paint? Or what are your favorite paints to use? We'll just kind of make this like a paint question. Now I am painting my little gnome beard with some of my leftover white paint from my last project. And I had a little bit of brown in it too, just to kind of give him, hey, he's kind of got some age to him. And then the next thing I wanted to do was just go ahead and outline the base of the hat right here to kind of give it a little bit of separation and also clean up my lines. Now my paintbrushes are from Dollar Tree and also from Walmart. I decided to give my gnome a little brown nose. I used the brown paint from my gingerbread craft, and then I went in with a little bit of white paint to kind of give him a little bit of dimension. The next thing I did, I went ahead and broke out my red paint, and I'm adding just a little red set of boots for my little gnome skis here. I think he's looking really, really cute. So anyway, and if you guys go on the Mackenzie Child's website, you guys, stuff with black and white check on it is crazy expensive, which, I mean, they have hand painted artists there that do all of their work. So it's definitely, I respect the artists, but if you want to do something on a budget here, you guys might have some ideas. And again, you can kind of see I'm just cleaning up my work. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is you can get a DecoArt paint pen. It's the DecoArt Premium Paint Pen, and that's a gold pen that I love to use. It's kind of like a paint marker, and the paint marker will clean up your lines as well. So keep that in mind as well. So you guys are going to see right here, I'm going in with that paint marker, and I'm just going to kind of trace out the hat. So the Mackenzie Childs stuff, if you love their stuff, they always have like gold accents, or on a lot of their pieces they do. This is kind of a way to get that same idea, and it also cleans up your lines and gives things a little bit more definition. So there you guys have it, this super adorable gnome on a total budget. So fun and fabulous. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super adorable painted gingerbread house. Okay, so Dollar Tree puts out these little Christmas houses, and I decided to go in and make mine a gingerbread house. I'm doing a gingerbread theme for my main Christmas tree. I'm really excited about it. And so I am going to need like some larger gingerbread ornaments, or some just little things to set kind of in and around the house as decor or underneath my tree. So we're going to get working on painting this, and I'm starting out with some brown paint. Again, this is just a wooden cutout that Dollar Tree sells, and it's a little bit tedious trying to get inside of these windows, and I actually meant to put like yellow inside the windows to make it seem like it was glowing from inside, but my brain flopped out, plus I had a lot of brown paint to use up. So I'm just taking a smaller paintbrush, and I'm trimming out the edges of this on the inside of the window with that smaller paintbrush. And so that's going to kind of give that a little bit of dimension, and I want it to feel really gingerbready. So, you know, almost like a gingerbread house that you would do just normally. So you can go back in now with some white paint and begin to kind of clean up your lines. So that's what I'm going to do. I just have a smaller paintbrush, and I'm cleaning up the lines of my little gingerbread house here, trying to make it look like it's icing, like it's trimmed and icing, and I did have to do 2 coats of all of that. So you guys, I would love to hear what everybody is doing. What are you working on? Are you working on Christmas crafts, fall crafts? I'd love to hear from you guys. And also, if you have a prayer request, I would love to put this out there. But hey, I know there's so many people out there, no matter what they're going through, they may have a prayer request. I have a really great community here. So if you guys need something, just drop a prayer request down below, or maybe you want to pray for somebody, just say, hey, if you're reading this right now, I'm praying for you, because I know everybody has a lot going on, especially once the holidays start getting closer. And so I just want to give out some love and support. I mean, this is a fun community. I try to keep everything really, really positive, and I am a believer in prayer. I'm a believer in leaning on God. That's my strength and my song. So if you guys love that, you have kind of a happy place here. And also have a great little Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook group page. If you guys want to pop over there, it's free. You can post photos of your home decor, your DIY projects, and just hang there as well. So anyway, now I'm taking a really tiny brush, and I'm trying my best to trim out these windows, make them look like icing without getting paint everywhere. But again, I do have to clean up a lot of my paint mistakes. So the next thing I wanted to do was add in some cute little peppermint gingerbread goodies to the front of this. I mean, it really doesn't make sense. This should be where the door is, but I just put peppermints here. So anyway, but you know what? It's a little whimsical gingerbread house, so we're just going to go for it. Now I am taking my paintbrush and kind of trying to trim it out. I needed to probably go a little bit slower. I don't know. Anyway, I want it to look like icing, and I'm going to accept my icing as is. I'm going to say it looks awesome, even if it's a little bit wonky. I added a cute little red bow to the top, and there you guys have it, a fun and fabulous little gingerbread house. It's going to go along with my little gingerbread person here and my gingerbread theme, all Dollar Tree goodies. And you guys could do this with kids. All you need is some paint and some TLC and some creativity. So as always, you guys also drop a comment down below And let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. And last but not least, for all the Benji Bear fans out here, here he is having a little cuddle with his favorite little snuggly kitty cat. So I also have Tinky the cat, who's a black cat. So this is like his little Tinky the cat snuggle toy. And when I first got Benji Bear, Tinky was not crazy about him, but now they actually hang out. They're really, really cute. Benji Bear likes to kind of bark at her and she likes to make him chase her. So anyway, Benji Bear is saying hi and Tinky is outside. She's a little bit camera shy, so you're probably not gonna see her much, but thought I would share that with you guys.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafty decor adventure. I truly believe that crafting and decorating is so good for your heart and soul. So no matter where you're at in your crafting and decorating journey or your life journey in general, keep up the good work, you guys. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. It gets easier and we're all going through something, I promise. So just look forward to the future with as much joy as possible. And also, hey, I would love to have you guys be part of our little crafty community here. Listen, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you punch that bell, it will update you every time I post a new video. I post several DIY videos a week on YouTube, as well as several DIY videos a day over on Facebook. I love to share with you guys how you can make your homes boutique and gorgeous on a budget. So listen, I love y'all to the moon and back. Always remember to be kind to one another. You know, you guys have a voice and you can leave kind comments down below. You can encourage one another, pray for one another, all that good stuff. So I'm wishing you a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed weekend. Again, this is a part of my I Love Christmas series. Catch up on the rest of the I Love Christmas series. I'm going to link it in the playlist down below. Also, don't miss my $100 Hobby Lobby giveaway. So anyway, I love y'all to the moon and back. I can't wait for our next DIY video. We're going to be putting up Christmas trees very soon. Okay, after Halloween. But you guys get ready for it. Okay, I'll let you guys go. And remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.